Okay.
We can hear you.
So, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want to first appreciate Professor Ambassador Queen Elizabeth Lucas Afolalu for granting me this privilege to be here this evening. I've heard a lot of speakers speaking about what the pandemic, and they have shared their views on some important role we need to play as far as hope, love, peace, and unity during and after the pandemic is concerned. Okay, I will be using this opportunity to talk about seizing the COVID-19 occasion for transformative change. Okay. So the pandemic has devastating consequences for larger parts of the global population in terms of profound health and socio-economic impacts. There are strong interlinkages of the health and socio-economic dimensions with governance, inequality, and conflict. Yet, because of its very magnitude, the pandemic will change critical political and social conditions, thereby creating important moments for deeper reforms and genuine peace-building processes. Similarly, interactable issues may suddenly be put into context, as has been seen in different situations around the world. While the virus is still wreaking havoc across the globe, it is nonetheless important to look into the future, that is to say, our different futures, into which the pandemic may lead us. The UN framework for the immediate socio-economic response to COVID-19 calls this an opportunity to reverse the trend of the striking civic space, institutionalized community-led response system, rely on social dialogue, and empowering local governments, scale up community and city-level resilience, and enhance legal and institutional framework. What can be done to build back better? And what can be done now to increase the chance of positive structural and societal transformations that bring about a more sustainable peace? How can social cohesion and social justice be at the center of all interventions? And more broadly, how can all interventions help address the structural barriers of sustaining peace? The reason why my own presentation is leveraging on this is because we deal majorly on peace and climate change diplomatically. So that is why we are looking at how peace is very important, especially during this season. So it is necessary to look at this question from a technical aspect. It is necessary to look at this question from a technical angle, where as a governance, respective to understand what overarching reforms are necessary to boost the resilience of conflict-affected contents to multiple shocks beyond epidemics. Unfortunately, the limited fiscal space of Unfortunately, the limited fiscal space of weak state institutions will hinder initiative to expand coverage of social protection and healthcare. For instance, the average financing gap of implementing an adequate social protection floor in low-income countries like Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Cameroon, and so on, is equivalent to 5.6% of their gross domestic product, fiscal space that many of these countries do not have. Similarly, upgrading healthcare system will come at a high risk, high cost. Although creative design can help keep costs at manageable levels, as places like Kerala in India and Costa Rica have shown. These two countries have shown some level of technology by improving and looking at way of designing health facilities to improve our health and issues of COVID-19 globally, okay? Coordinated global support to investment in the public sector will be required. Partnership with the private, especially financial sector, are needed to support businesses and address structural challenges. Yes, you can't just empower some of our widows and women in Nigeria. So such initiatives need to be encouraged, especially during this period. Aid for trade resources could help build trade capacity and the infrastructure that is necessary for trade-related adjustments. Such investments should be accompanied by measures to enhance the transparency and effectiveness of public spending. The COVID-19 crisis can serve as an opportunity for development. Actors to start collaborating actively and effectively with government counterparts, as well as social partners, workers and employer organizations. Yes, you can international, access to Human Rights International, and a lot of international organizations can see how they can collaborate to see that we reach out to the locals, and also governmental organizations collaborate in form of partnership. These are the things we are talking about. So local leaders and communities to initiate inclusive processes for more far-reaching reforms, while a deliberate, technical, expert-led approach and a reference to international best practice can serve to depoliticize a topic. This kind of structural transformation process are inherently highly political in nature, with specific constituencies likely to gain or lose out. Technical agencies must be responsive to the political economy at play and determine if the conditions are in place for a constructive, multi-stakeholder approach to diverse such structural reforms. A suitable role for donors and technical agencies is that of facilitator and supporter of participatory approaches, broad coalitions and social dialogue that may enable local leadership and local elaborations of such reforms. The pandemic has also highlighted the need to make progress on structural changes to international humanitarian and development assistance itself. Specifically, the situation can give a strong boost to operationalizing the humanitarian development, peace measures, and implementing the new way of working. It can also give a push to the localization agenda, as this opportunity should be seized to bring positive and lasting change to the business model of international development and humanitarian assistance, creating real shift in power and leadership to local actors. The COVID-19 crisis has exposed everyone to multidimensional nature of the situation, and many technical agencies have incorporated elements related to broader societal dynamics and conflict drivers into their rapid assessments. Examples of these assessments are even the Zoom we are using presently. A lot of people are now doing a lot of conferences, and we are coming together online so that we can relate well and also create issues globally in ways of collaboration and solving our issues in our different local ways. This heightened awareness of this interlinkage can generate momentum around further institutionalized conflict-sensitive and peace responsiveness into institutional policies and processes. Although conflict sensitivity is and remains the basis, this first attempt to contribute explicitly to sustaining peace can teach us about the effectiveness of such approaches. They can also start to create a stronger evidence based on how and under which conditions sectoral interventions can help sustain peace. To end with the word of the UN Secretary General, we are living through a difficult time, but we can turn the COVID-19 crisis into an opportunity for sustainable peace and greater inclusion. A moment in which the UN and other diplomatic organizations such as Yes You Can, Access to Human Rights, and all other organizations in the world must be able to address the people of the world and appeal for a massive mobilization and for a massive pressure on governments to make sure that we are able to respond to this crisis, not to mitigate it, but to suppress it, to suppress the disease and to address the dramatic economic and social impacts of the disease. We can only do it if we do it together, if we do it in a coordinated way, if we do it with intense solidarity and cooperation. Remember, everything we do matters. Yes, we can do it. All the little things we can do, let us do it. It is important. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And thank you. My name is Ambassador Afolabi Timothy. And thank you, Dr. Elizabeth Lucas, for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Ambassador Timothy. That was so educating. Thank you so much. Now I'm about to hand over to Ambassador Need, my colleague, the moderator. Let's now have the floor.
Thank you so much.